Don't blame me, bitch. I am not the reason I never came back to Degrassi. I always get asked why Darcy just like went to Africa and never came back, even when her sister was in trouble. So, first, let me clear the air. I'm very sorry to Darcy's faux sister. I had no control over that. I really always refer to Degrassi as my high school experience. My first year, I had a really small role. My second year, I had a bigger but still quite a small role. And then my third year, I finally got my first A storyline or maybe B storyline. If you were a fan of Degrassi, you know, sharing photos of herself in a bathing suit with some creeper who ended up stalking her and coming to the school. That was a big moment for me to feel like I finally really had a character on that show. It was really meaningful for me because it felt like I had really fought to prove myself. And then my fourth season, I finally got offered a regular contract on the show, which to me just solidified that I had, fully immersed myself as part of this ensemble cast. And at that point in time, they had actually offered me a 2-year contract, but I knew that at that point, I either wanted to move on to a different opportunity or I wanted to go to university. I just knew that I was like ready to graduate, so to speak, in one form or fashion. And if I went to university, then maybe I would pop back in occasionally or whatever. But I was only comfortable signing a 1-year contract at that time. Something in my gut was just like, no, we're good. Let's just do like 1 year finally as a regular, just to have that experience, and then we can move on to the next chapter because I'll be able to be like, yeah, cool, I did it. But before that had a chance to play out, I had sent in a self-tape for another show and ended up moving through the screen test process and booking that show. And that meant that I was going to be uprooting my whole life and moving to Los Angeles imminently. The new season of Degrassi had started filming and they had very little time to write me out of the series. There wasn't a lot of closure for the fans of the show, myself included. I went back to Degrassi High for 2 scenes one day and said my goodbyes, and that was it. I was on my way. There was like a scene at the lockers and I'm like, hey Peter, so I have to tell you something. I'm going to Africa to do charity work. That was it. She gone. That's why I left. I had one foot out the door no matter what was going to happen for that season because I was planning on going to university. My character's journey was going to come to a close sooner than later. It just ended up happening sooner because I booked 90210 and had to move to LA right away. I get a lot of questions about why Darcy never came back. I had nothing to do with it. I have no control over that. I just left to go and do 90210 and that was it. I was never ever asked to come back. I was really busy. I don't think I would have had time to come back, but they never asked. I would have tried. No hard feelings at all. I think everything played out exactly as it was meant to. My time on that show taught me to fight for what I want. It kind of bred me to be this underdog in my career. I'm not always the first choice or the obvious choice. I might have to graft a little harder to convince people of what I'm capable of or that I deserve to be somewhere, but I have no shame and no ego in doing that. It's actually like why I'm here right now on this YouTube channel, carving a path for myself because I'm passionate about it. Hopefully you find enough people along the way that care and, dreams can come true. They can manifest with time. I've seen that in my life time and time and time again. It's made me very resilient, very determined to continue to shamelessly fight to prove my worth and my value, fight to hold on to my self-belief in my worth and my value, regardless of what's happening externally, regardless of the no's, of the rejection, having to kind of work twice as hard to convince people to give you a shot. I think that builds character at this point in my life. I haven't achieved everything that I want to achieve, but I'm pretty proud of the person that I am. I feel so lucky that I have been able to provide a life for myself and now my family for all these years, doing creative things via creative outlets. I know what a privilege that is, and I feel incredibly grateful, in constant fear that it could all go away tomorrow. And then what the fuck would I do? Because I literally don't have a resume to speak of. But I do live every single day in a place of gratitude for what a cool and unique life I've gotten to live. I hope, 36-year-old me is making 13-year-old me proud. I think what 13-year-old me would have thought would have made her proud is different than what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, who I am. But I got to experience the glitz and the glamour that she would have thought was really fucking cool. And I got to see it for what it really is, which is not all it's cracked up to be. And I hope now the way that I move through life and this ever evolving career of mine would make her proud. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Next week, we're going to shoot the shit about something totally different. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below because I am going to dive into that comment section. No pressure at all. Take care of yourself and be kind to each other. Mwah.